Hello, Starshine. This is Smadar from Song of Stones, and I am here today. Well, first of all, let me introduce myself to those who don't know me. I'm a crystal whisperer, which means I talk to stones, and they talk to me. And these stones were singing so beautifully for us at this time when many of us are experiencing the effects of the wildfires that are happening around our world. Let me start by saying that I got up one morning last week and I looked out the window and it was, something just didn't feel right. It was dark and I thought, okay, it's a stormy day, it's gonna rain. But there was something that was not quite right about the way that the sky looked. And then, if I was looking out one window, it was very dark, but then when I went to my other window, the sky was white. It was completely white. There was no variation, no clouds, no blue spots peeking out. It was eerie, and I didn't know yet that we were experiencing the effects of wildfires happening in our nearby. And so of course I called on the crystals, and at that point I'd been hearing about wildfires all over, not just near me, but many people were experiencing wildfires. And I called on the crystals and I listened for a stone or stones that could help us, that could ease a little bit of our stress and trauma. So I went into the crystal room and I started gathering the crystals that were singing, and it felt like minutes had gone by, but it really was hours. And this is what happens when I get into that flow state of listening. It's quite magical. So these are the crystals that came. So first there was hematite. I'm not going to say first. I don't even remember what came first. But hematite is the silvery black stone on the left, the one with the beautiful sparkle and sheen. Hematite is a really magical stone. There's so much to say about it, but let me focus in on why it's here for us at this time. And hematite, by the way, is silvery and black on the outside, shiny, really shiny. But on the inside, its essence is red. So when it's cut, or if you even drag it across a hard surface, you'll see that it leaves behind a red essence, a red mark, a red powder. And that really speaks to its alchemical essence, to its transformative powers. But what I first was hearing when I heard hematite was its cleansing ability, its connection to blood. And it is what makes up bloodstone. If you ever see bloodstone, that red in the bloodstone, it's a green stone with red inclusions, and the red is the hematite. So I thought this was going to be a perfect, beautiful stone for us today, a blood cleansing stone. There's more, and I'm going to be writing about all of that in this week's Light Log post, so I encourage you to go read it to find out more about that. And then the stone in the middle is a light bud stone. There's a whole story about this stone, but it's a beautiful stone from Arizona that was hand harvested by these really special people. And it has this beautiful glow to it. There's two types that I have. One has a more matte, grayish kind of appearance, and the other ones are smaller and shinier and brighter. But you cannot discount the light that comes from this stone, no matter what, which type that you are holding. And so this one, to me, what I heard from this stone is that these are called light bud stones. They gave me the name light bud for a reason, because they seed light. They seed light within us. So when the sky is dark and the dark or white or gray or whatever, these stones can help us to find the light within, so that we're not as upset. And when I say upset, I mean it physically and emotionally, about the absence of the blue skies and the sunshine. And then on the other side, we have anthracite. Anthracite is a type of coal, and it's shiny like hematite, and it's dark and black. And it is, well, I mean, I think we all can have an idea of what coal can do. And I just want to say, before I get into why it's here, is it's a very rare stone in metaphysical circles, not because it's a rare stone, but because it's not often brought in as a healing stone. Honestly, I think I'm the only one that has offered it as a healing stone that I know of. There might be others doing it, but I have not seen it. So when I think of coal, when I think of anthracite, I think of extreme power. I think of the very essence of power. It was used to power steam engines. And not so much anymore, though I think that it's still in use. I remember days where, in my younger days, when we barbecued and used a coal barbecue. And I remember those briquettes, I think they were called, those squarish pillows of coal that we used to light our barbecues. So why is it here now? Because sometimes the antidote to fire is fire. there's medicine in the dis-ease. And when we know how, we can balance ourselves. We can balance our bodies, our hearts, our minds. And then the one above is copper. I'm sure you recognize it. It's unmistakable. It's completely recognizable. And copper, oh, there is so much that I can tell you about copper. Copper is never far away from me. I have it in all the parts of my house for many reasons. It's a beautifully feminine stone. I love giving it to women, the women in my life, and but today it's here for another purpose, and I didn't get that purpose until just a few minutes ago. I was feeling the beautiful effects of the stone, but I didn't know why. Copper was here, well, fully. I knew part of the reason, but I didn't know fully until just a few minutes ago when I realized that copper is, in this instance, a harmonizer. It funnels the energies, the chaotic, wild energies of these stones and directs it and harmonizes it so that we can integrate it so beautifully. And the night after I gathered the stones, and it was, I stayed indoors when when the smoke was filling the skies, because the air quality was really, really, really poor. And even so, I was feeling the effects of the smoke in my throat and in my voice and in my breathing. And I kept these stones beside me that night. I kept them by my side. And when I woke up the next day, I felt at unease. But truthfully, I didn't realize what it was I was feeling till much later when I started to notice when I was doing Qigong and I was getting in tune with my breath, that I realized that I was breathing easier that day than I had in a while. And of course, you know, that stark contrast between how I was feeling the day before and that day was quite powerful. So what do I want to say to you here? I want to say, I'm going to be writing more about it in the Light Log post, as I mentioned. Please go and visit. There's going to be lots more about these crystals, and also if you're part of our Sunday Sparkle community, our crystal community, you'll get the Sunday Sparkle today as well, and there'll be more there too. But if you are needing the energies of these crystals, I invite you to connect with them. If you can bring them home, great. If not, please remember that you can connect with the energy of the stones, even if they are not with you. And I hold in my heart that those of us who are affected by the wildflowers. Isn't that interesting? Okay, that felt like a message So wildflowers are coming in and offering their medicine as well. And you can connect with them through visualization, through meditation, through dreams, through essential oils, and through flower essences. Yeah, that distracted me for a minute. And okay, so for those of us who are affected by the wildfires and who, or who are just are having challenges in their breathing, I invite you to connect with these stones or with whatever stones are singing for you in the moment, or whatever other whispers the universe has for you. And by the way, there were quite a few almost prophetic messages that came from the universe through myself and through others in my family, which I'm not going to go through now because I don't want to take up too much more of your time here. But again, they'll be in the light log post. So what I want to say, what I want to leave you with is remember the crystals. Remember to listen to the universe. The universe is speaking to you. The crystals are speaking to you. And I want to wish you well. Be well, my friends. Breathe easy, my friends. And I will see you soon.